So while we get this started, I was thinking of a quote this morning. Tatiana, I really appreciate you for your words. And the quote that came to me was by Malcolm X. And he said, "Education is your passport to the future. For tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today." And as I was thinking about preparing for today, have you ever been planning for something and the way you planned it working out, it didn't work out that way? Anybody ever had that happen before? Yeah, so I was planning for today to work out some way, and it worked out a little differently, but it worked out perfectly. And I didn't know what I was preparing for in terms of these other things that were happening, but I think today will speak volumes as to the work that we're doing at Ever Forward. Is that sometimes the work that we have to do is be able to roll with it no matter what happens. Like some people say, like, just roll with it when you're feeling like really down, and that doesn't feel necessarily so good, right? They're kind of trying to cheer you up. They're like, just let it be, just roll with it. Doesn't make sense in the moment, while you're feeling the pain, while you're feeling the anger, while you're feeling the frustration. But sometimes when you look back 5 years, you're like, man, that had to happen for that other thing to happen. And so what you're going to see in some of these slides is that I've changed the talk. Because our special guests were going to go later in the talk, but I'm clear that what I'm being told to do is to have our special guests go first. And so I want to introduce you to some of the future. Some of the young men in our program who are going to carry us into the future. And if we don't believe that all of our young people are going to carry us into the future, then we may need to reframe what we think about our future. Because I'm pretty clear that I'm going to be passing the torch. And so I'm going to bring up three of our young men. Come on up, please. And I want you to, they're going to go in a very interesting order, but they'll introduce themselves to you.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Cool. My name is Vincent Flores, and I'm actually a third year at college right now. I study art, and I'm attending Cal State East Bay. Thank you. In high school, I really didn't appreciate myself that much. I really didn't value my mind, my body, or anything. I joined this group because I saw my friends join it, and they created a brotherhood. They created character. They started seeing a future for themselves. And I was in a position that I didn't think I could do anything or be anything. And now I feel like I can just make a plan, and even if it doesn't go right, I will know that I will succeed someday. Because without struggle, there is no success.
Hello everyone, my name is Ambrosio. Recently I graduated from Arise High School, and I will be attending UC Berkeley in the fall. And so I joined Ever Forward like my freshman year, and I had no intentions, it was just a club, to me it was just a club. But as I kept going to the club, later on I developed the mindset of having branch as like a civil engineering, and like through my sophomore year I decided that I was going to do architecture, right? So that's what I'm going to be studying at Berkeley. And so, throughout my time there, I will be looking up to him. And I know he's going to be like, he's like a father figure. My parents did not have that type of education that I'm getting right now. So they don't know anything about college. They don't value Berkeley as people from the US value Berkeley. To a lot of people it's like, oh, you're going to Berkeley, oh, that's so nice, But my parents are just like, oh, that's good, that's good that you're going somewhere. Yeah, so, and so Ashanti knows about that, and he values Berkeley, so I'll value it the same way, and I'll just mostly be looking up to him throughout my years there. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Christian. I went to the ninth grade. I attended the Ever Forward Club over 2 years now, and the way that the Ever Forward Club has impacted me is by like choosing my goals and making sure that they become true, like by like getting good grades, passing to the next grade and stuff. And that's it.
Thank you.
So you see, like, so Vincent was in the Ever Forward Club when he was in high school, and now he's in college, right? So you kind of heard his perspective. So he has about 6 or 7 years of kind of knowing us. Ambrosio has about 4 years. Like, he started with us as a freshman, and now he's about to go into college. And Christian started with us in the 7th grade, and now he's about to go into high school. And here's what I know about what's happening in our society with our young men. Our young men are in crisis.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, if you watch the news and you just say, well, something's wrong out there, and we don't know what the problem is, I can tell you one of the problems is that our young men are calling out for help. Like, our young men have inside their bodies parts of them that is saying, something is not feeling right, but I'm clear about what society says I can act like and what I can be like. Like society says for our young men, it gives them a very short list of what it means to be masculine. Very short list. I'll give you 3 of them. You can be like super funny, just make everybody laugh. Everyone just loves to be around you because you're just so funny. You can just be super angry, so you just dominate and you just terrorize people so they're afraid of you. Or you can just be like, I don't care. Now, those are very extremes. But how many other emotions are our young men allowed to have and make themselves feel respected? You can't be afraid. You can't be sad. You can't be guilty or shameful. You can't feel like the hundreds of other emotions that exist out there. We don't have the access to those. Well, we have access, but we don't often get a chance to use them. Not if we want to continue believing that we're men. Like, they'll quickly tell you who you are when you begin to show other emotions that doesn't fit into what society says makes you a man. So I'm going to go really briefly into my story, just really quick, because I got a short time and we got a lot to do. Before I jump in, everyone has a piece of paper that you were given outside, yes? And a marker, yes? Does anyone not have one? Okay. So I imagine there's a few hands, and so Ambrosio will go in and make sure if you don't have one, that you will get one, okay? So, as long as you remember having one, you don't need to pull it out at the moment, but I just wanted to make sure that I said that because it's really important for this next part. So there'll be some coming around, so I'll let you know, and then if you don't have one, you can raise your hand and somebody will get you one, okay? All right. So I'm gonna tell this story really briefly because I think that it will help to set the stage, like as to why I'm here right now. So I grew up in Oakland by a single mother on welfare. So we were poor. And so I was really clear about one thing, that I didn't want to be poor when I grew up. I was also clear that I was born into a society where being smart wasn't seen as really cool. Oakland, California. And so I started off this journey like in this bear fight. Like, I was born and my father had already died 3 months before I was born. Like 3 months before he died, his father died. So I start off on this planet and I already got a problem. And I didn't even cause it. I didn't even get a choice in the matter. No one gave me opportunity to plan for that type of future. Elementary school, you can be smart and kind of still work out because you only got 30 kids you're dealing with every day, 25 maybe. When you get to middle school, you got like 180 of them you got to deal with. Like, that's a lot of people trying to impress. And smart doesn't really work. So I just fell into the trap of being a knucklehead. And it wasn't until a teacher saw enough in me. She pulled me aside, gave me detention, was yelling at me, whatever. And she said, she was like giving me a speech for about a half an hour. I only heard like one sentence. But the one sentence I heard, I mean, I don't know if you give speeches for half an hour to students, but They probably only hear a little bit, just so you know. Just give them bite-sized pieces. I would encourage you to do that. And so here's what she said. This is why I heard it. She said, I know you're sad. And the only reason I heard it because she insulted me. Don't call me sad. I'm from Oakland. We don't be sad. I'm mad. But this is when I started listening. She said, I know you're sad that your father died before you were born. I'm really listening. What? But life doesn't give you what you want. Life gives you what you get, and you have to make the most out of it. And I heard it. That sentence I heard of everything, and that sentence changed my life. And so when I came back to school, whenever that was, whether it was the next day or 2 weeks later, like teachers were confused. Like, why are you paying attention? Why are you sitting in the front? Why are you're doing all of your work? Like, they were confused. But the issue was, I could do the work. It was never that I couldn't do the work. I just didn't care. And oftentimes, our students are treated in behaviors because they show behaviors of not caring, and it's almost like they can't do it. So, let me jump in. So, I go to high school. High school is a little bit interesting, Fremont High School. I am wanting to join this program called Upward Bound. They say, fill out this application. I fill out the application. I come back the next day, the lady says, oh, I got a problem, I'm sorry. I said, what's the problem? I filled out the application. She said, well, this program is for first generation college students. I said, I'm first generation. She said, no, you're not. I said, yes, I am. She said, no, your mom went to college. I said, of course we didn't, we're poor. Who would go to college and be poor? She said, your mom's a teacher. I'm like, what? You mean my mama went to college for us to be this broke? What? So I was clear about one thing that evening. I was clear about one thing. I was clear about one thing. I was going to have a conversation with my mom, and it wasn't going to go very well. Because I was going to ask her, why would you dare go to college and then barely be able to pay the bills? Like, I don't know where you grew up and what your situation was like. I don't know if you ever had to negotiate on the phone with the PG&E to pay half of it so you can pay the other bills and still eat, and then you can pay the other half on it later. I don't know if you ever had to hear those conversations growing up. Those are regular conversations that I heard on Saturday mornings before the lights are going to get cut off. And so I grew up with this idea that I'm really clear about one thing: I will never, ever be a teacher. I'm really clear about one thing. If there's one thing I'm clear about now in my life, I'm clear that Ashanti Branch will never, ever be a teacher. Now, I go to college, I'm civil engineering. I graduate, I'm making a lot of money, having a lot of fun, partying. Well, I'm using my money to enjoy myself. That's what you do. You make a lot of money, you enjoy yourself, right? But there's a problem. I'm not happy. What's wrong with me? Something must be wrong with me. The fact that I'm now making money, I'm able to buy things. I can pay the rent, PG&E, maybe even have cable and eat, and maybe go to a movie same month. That's a beautiful thing. I don't know. That's a big deal for me. As a young black boy from Oakland, growing up and poor, and now I have an incredible job making a lot of money, but I'm not happy. And so I'm fast forward the story. So what happened was, there we go. So I started tutoring at this learning center. I met this kid. He couldn't multiply polynomials. I love polynomials. I said, look, no problem. I'll hook you up. And when the light turned on in his face, for him to understand how to multiply polynomials, my life changed, and I was actually mad. I was like, wait a minute, that feels really good, but that means teaching. So I quit. And I was a tutor, so I was like, I'm sorry, I can't tutor here anymore. I was feeling the call to do something different, but I'd already made a decision way back that was not gonna happen, so I'm like, I'm out. And I ran from it for 2 years, and then, lo and behold, it caught me, and I was clear that I was supposed to be a teacher. And so I became a teacher at San Lorenzo High School, first year teaching, and I'm failing. I'm not doing well. There's young men in my class who are smart, but who are failing. I had kind of forgot my own little journey for a moment, because I was trying to figure out, why are you failing my class? You're too smart to be failing my class. And so I said, well, look, I'll do this. I invited some young men to lunch. I said, I'll buy you lunch once a week. Exchange for lunch, you teach me how to be a better teacher. Tell me what I'm doing wrong, I'll fix it. Whatever I'm not doing right to help you learn in my class, I will fix it. And you know what they began to talk about? They began to talk about the same thing I remember saying in middle school. It ain't cool to be smart. I ain't walking around with no big old heavy backpack. I ain't gonna be no nerd, no geek, no teacher's pet. Everything about smart to them was negative. And I knew that my job was not to be like, oh no, smart is cool. Smart is cool. Because I remember being there. So I had to help them learn how to find their intelligence and their smartness while still keeping their coolness, which requires a little finessing. So how about, I'll tell you those tips later. So let me just go into what happened. So we started this program. They began to come. They began to grow really fast, really quick. I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't trying to start a nonprofit. I didn't even know, I'd already just become a teacher. Like, why would I be in a nonprofit? Like, I didn't even know what a nonprofit was. It's just, I knew it didn't sound good. I knew it sounded actually pretty bad. I was already broke. Like, to go from broke to nonprofit almost sounds like, what? Can you get any worse? I couldn't imagine my life explaining that to my friends who are already mad at me because I left engineering while they're on their boats and yachts and whatever. That's another story. That's another talk. So anyway, I go into this, and I'm clear that I'm supposed to be teaching, but these young men are not learning. And so my journey moves a lot of places. I go to Rise High School. I come back to Fremont High School 20 years later at my alma mater. And I'm working with a group of young men in the Brotherhood. Now, these young men, they were not doing so well in school, many of them. They were smart. They didn't see the smartness in themselves. And they were really clear that at that school, like, that doesn't work. And so we began to meet every week. And I was trying to figure it out. Like, if we check in, and they were like, I'm a 10. I'm a 10, I'm a 10. And I was a dean that year, so I was like, well, you got 4 referrals today. How's it a 10? Because they had not yet gotten clear about their own truth. And my job in the holding circle is to hold space for them. I can't expose their stuff. So our job is to like, okay. Now when the film crew, this is a part of the documentary, The Mask You Live In, when they said they wanted to come film, I said, well, yeah, I'm excited. But this group of young men, they lie. She said, what do you mean? I said, well, when we check in, they all say they're a 10, but they're not really 10. So we haven't gotten to the place where they're talking truth yet. She said, well, at least we'll be able to see them resisting opportunity to reveal when they have an opportunity to. I said, okay. That's what I said to her. Okay. But in my mind, I was like, oh no. You're not about to be filming me with a group of young men lying to each other. Like, that's not going to happen. So I was like figuring out what were we going to do? Like, how am I going to get them to like get real? And so you already saw the special guest, so I'm going to just move. So what you're going to experience is what I did with them. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. All the years ever before, since 2004, I've just been trying things. And I think that's how I got into the D school at Stanford, at the design school. Because it's about rapid prototyping. It's like you just try it. You don't plan it for a year and then try it. You say, let me try it. And if it don't work, you change it. And you didn't invest a year in planning out something that the kids are like, that was dumb. So how about you try it with them, and then they'll say it's dumb today, and then I'll change it for tomorrow. It makes it a lot easier on my own ego. So this is what you're going to experience today. So in your hand, you have a piece of paper. And so that piece of paper, and you have a marker. Can 2 or 3 people tell me what you think the purpose of a mask is? Like, why were they created? What are masks for? To deceive. To hide. Protection. Pretending. Transformation. Ritual. I heard theater performance. Power. Become someone else. We'll start there. That's great. So, does everyone have paper? Okay. I see a few hands on this side. Do you have the stack? Who has a stack of paper? There's no more paper. Okay. So, sorry, there's no more paper. All right. So hopefully, if you have a notebook, you can like maybe tear a piece out. But we'll do our best. Okay. So I want you on this paper, and I want you to right now imagine that you are just you and me here. So I don't want you looking to your neighbor's paper for ideas or thoughts. I want you on your own paper just to kind of be you and I having this conversation really quick. And so what I need you to do is I need you on this paper, without looking anywhere else, I need you on this paper. Oh, there's some moving around. You're gonna do it quickly. So I know we may have some artists in the room. You're gonna be a little upset with me because you're not gonna get a lot of time to do this. But on this paper, I need you to draw a mask. Draw what you think a mask looks like. Whatever you draw is correct. And once you draw the mask, just turn the paper over so you can keep it protected. Draw a mask. And my time is moving really fast right now, so you gotta draw a mask quick. And please just keep your eyes on your own paper, or just focus at me, because you got like 10 more seconds for the mask. Okay, so I want you to think of the front of the mask as, so you can go back to the front, you're gonna turn back to the front, just keep it to yourself, just kind of keep it to yourself. I want you on the front of this mask, I want you to think of the mask as a representation of you. Like I want you to imagine that it came from your mind to your arm, to your hand, to your pen, to your paper, like it's a representation of you. So that's a mask representing you. On the front of the mask, I want you to write 3 words or phrases that represent what are qualities that you let the world gladly see about you. 3 qualities, characteristics that you gladly, when you walk out the house to your day, whether you're going to work, school, play, whatever, like what are the qualities you let the world see about you? Qualities or characteristics, 3 of them, on the front, somewhere, anywhere. And then turn the paper over. And you don't have a lot of time to think about the 3. Just whatever the 3 that you think you show, that you're trying to show, put those on the front and then turn the paper over. Now the front part for most people usually is pretty easy. The back usually gets more tricky. So on the back, some of you are probably already guessing what I'm going to ask you to write on the back. Some of you are already tensing up a little bit. So the front is those things that I gladly show the world. What do you think is going to be on the back? Yeah. So you feel it? You feel it? You're thinking, like you're thinking about it, probably like, what? What is this? This is art. This is about art, isn't it? This is about art and inventing our future. Hopefully it'll make sense in a second. On the back, I want you to write 3 words or phrases that represent what are the things you just normally don't talk about. It may be things that you hide, but it may just be things that you just, no one mentions it, I don't talk about it. It may be things you just kind of ignore, it may be things you just don't deal with. 3 things on the back of those qualities that you just kind of don't touch. And once you finish, I need you to ball the paper up. Now, if you got a marker from Ambrosio just now, from that one box, we got to make sure those get back to that box because those belong to someone. So if you got a marker from him, just make sure that at the end, you just bring them down to the front or let us know. But I need you to ball the paper up, and this part is going to get a little bit exciting, okay? So just get ready, okay? So you got the ball. Everyone has a ball in their hand. Everyone has a ball in their hand. I do have some volunteers. Who are my volunteers? You want to volunteer? Come on. Come on down. I have a couple volunteers over here. Do I have any volunteers over here? I had a couple that were picked out for us. Will you help people? Come on, help me. And then you 3 are going to help. Hello, welcome. What's your name?
Joshua.
Joshua, good to meet you. Hello.
Maria.
Maria, nice to meet you. Welcome. Okay, everyone got them balled up. If you haven't finished writing, you're done. Write them. Yeah. Time is up. It's like one of those. I know artists are pretty mad about having to ball this up. I know. I'm sorry. I told you you're going to be mad at me. I tried to prepare you. You know, I mean, I did my best. Keep balling. Okay, great. Now, I think it may be actually, you may get more out of this if everyone has things in their lap. So I'm gonna let you sit, because I think standing maybe make it really chaotic. Here's what's gonna happen. Now, those papers need to make it to us. So close your eyes. Now I want you to imagine that what you have in your hand is now turning into like snow. Like it's becoming a snowball as I speak. And so the goal is you got a wall of people to target for your snowball. They didn't know. They didn't even know. They didn't even know. I'm so glad you volunteered. You didn't even know. What's your name? Hannah, hello, thank you, welcome. Rachel, hello there. Seth. They didn't know, but they volunteered, so we gotta give them a hand for volunteering. Yeah. So, your job, do your best to make them down. Don't hurt anybody. Okay? So and if you get hit in the back of the head with one, it's okay. Just pick it up and keep throwing it. So the goal is that all of them make it down here, and I got a short amount of time to finish this. Are you ready? Ready. So on the count of 3, let's just do this. I'm gonna just watch. Oh. Okay. So, 1, 2, 3. That's awesome. Come on. Now, that was a nice one. I saw it. Okay, so here's what we gotta do. That was good. We're gonna pick up. Can all you pick up? Each of you pick up one. Each of you pick up one. Pick up one. Just pick up one. We're gonna collect them all in a second, but we're gonna pick up one. And my time is almost up. Actually, it's getting really close. So before you open, sometimes when we do this workshop, we are like. People are sometimes like in a hurry to open what's inside. And I just want you to know the fact that whether the paper is blank or I can't read it, like it's exactly what it's supposed to be. Like I want you to know that one of my mentors says 95% of success is just showing up. And you may have heard 93, 92, 85. It doesn't really matter. Like you imagine that if you don't show up, there is no success. And do you know that sometimes for our students, it's just hard to show up? You know, sometimes there's so much going on that you're just like, I don't even want to go. And when they walk into your room, your office, your space, and you open the doors and say, I'm just so glad you're here. Because you could have not shown up. And so what we're going to do is we're going to run out of time. But I got to do this, because you got to know. So everyone carefully open this gift, okay? Carefully. And I think what we got. My mind is like rushing because I'm kind of finished, but also I need to make sure you catch why this is important. For the work we do with our students and having compassion for yourself and for others, of recognizing what we're dealing with on a daily basis when we step into our classrooms, our schools, our programs, when we're dealing with humans, and the littlest of them, the youngest of them. So, can I have everybody read one word from the front of the mat? Just one word from the front, starting, what's your name again?
Maria.
Maria, will you start with you? Just read one word from the front.
Organized.
Great.
Thoughtful.
Artistic.
Giving. Integrity.
Grateful. Warm.
Kind.
Friendly.
I got one more.
Great.
Okay, I want to say something. This is
No. Read a word.
Okay. Smart.
Okay.
Kind.
Awesome. Now, imagine in this room, we had kind, friendly, smart. Like those qualities make sense, right? In a group of incredible, intelligent educators. Turn the paper over. Now, sometimes this part is even hard to read, so I know it may have been hard to write. And whatever it is, if you can't read it, just say I can't read it. If it's blank, you just say it's blank. Whatever happens right now, it's supposed to be that way. Because when we walk into our classroom every day and we see our students happy, friendly, nice, kind, we're expecting that that's how they are. That's who they are. What they show us is who they are. And if we don't recognize that oftentimes our eyes fool us so much. Please read one word from the back.
Fear of failure.
Crazy.
Introverted.
Loneliness.
The past.
Money issue.
Untrust. Aging.
Instability.
Lonely. So on a daily basis, whether you see 5 students or 150 students, our students are coming in with what they know that we can handle. On their mask, I'm gonna be the happy one, I'm gonna be the silly one, I'm gonna be the funny one, I'm gonna be the goofy one. Whatever they think you can handle, they're gonna give it to you. And if we miss the part of their heart that's just not able to talk about it, they gotta pretend that it doesn't really exist. We miss that, we miss them. You gotta care more about the subjects you're teaching than the subject you're teaching. My time is up. Thank you for being here today. Have a great conference.